Mighty Manfred here, and what a special coolest conversations we got going on for today, because joining me now is my buddy and pal, and bandmate in the Waggles, the Flesh Hammer. How
Oh,
are
it's
you,
so
Flesh?
cozy in here.
Thanks for talking with me today.
Yeah, well, I figure you're my boss. I have to talk to you.
That's right. I like to hear you saying that. I'm going to quote you with that later on. So, man, you've been in the Woggles now over 11 years, since 2003. Prior to that, you had sat in with us, you had filled in with us, and produced some of our records. Man, you must have known better than hooking up. Why did you join the band?
Man, if I hadn't been there, there would be no Waggles today. All those riches, all the wealth, all the fame, all the babes, you wouldn't have had any of that.
You know, I thought it was much more like after you get hit in the hammer a whole bunch of times, it becomes normal. You know, you couldn't live your life without that.
Well, certainly what it's become. That's certainly what it's become.
So now you are a longtime rock and roller. You've been playing in bands since when? How old were you when you formed your first band?
When I was born.
you and you came out playing what? A marimba?
I think I had a Hammond D3. My mom didn't like that. The Harley Davidson of musical instruments.
So I do remember you telling me once that you saw Paul Revere and the Raiders playing on the back of a flatbed truck. Is that one of your earliest rock and roll memories? Or
yeah, that was my first real rock and roll concert. I talked my dad into taking me and this 14-year-old girl in the neighborhood with us to go see them, and I was a big fan. Of course, that was the height of Where the Action Is, maybe 1966, I believe it was. But they played it was for the grand opening of the Cobb Center Theater. It was not some big show at an auditorium or something like that. It was literally them playing on the back of a flatbed truck in a parking lot on a Saturday afternoon kind of evening. But it was definitely rocking.
So
it wore me for life. I blame them.
Oh, excellent. And that's good that they got you in tune with wearing a uniform on stage.
Yeah, I got used to that idea. That's a cool template for any rock band, even still today. And the nod to history that Parker and the Raiders were, too, even if it was kind of tongue-in-cheek.
So, is there any difference, or what do you see as a difference between playing rock and roll with your first bands into now? I mean, obviously we're all older, but is the audience reception different these days?
Well, there's a lot different. Yeah, there's a lot different to me. I mean, the audience is certainly different. I mean, a lot of the reason why the audience is different is just, nowadays, because of the internet, everybody's got the world at their fingertips, and it just gives you a lot more options. In our day, you had to learn to recognize your option because they didn't come along very often. And rock and roll was certainly one of them, and kind of jumped on that guy with both feet, It was like the only thing going on. The only thing there was to do was go see rock bands or start a rock band or whatever, It was the only thing cool going on in Marietta, Georgia.
Well, right now we got something cool going on. We put out a new Christmas single. The digital version of that's been out for a while, but we finally were able to put a proper 7-inch single together. Santa is Coming, Ho Ho. That is the track you heard just before we started chatting. Comes in red and green vinyl. Sleeve is die cut. I wish we could have made it more like an advent calendar, but budgetary constraints is what they say. Now, you and I wrote that song. You did the musical end. What was your musical inspiration for that tune?
As I recall, it was done in such a hurry. You sent me the lyrics over, and the very first line, Santa's coming, ho, 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 I knew that was the proposed title. So, I kind of walked around for half a morning with that title just sort of singing in my head to the riff that kind of the song wound up being based on.
So it's, songwriting, it never seems to be a specific formula to it. I mean, it always seems to be sometimes there are lyric ideas and sometimes there are music ideas that come to you first. If you had to describe an average sort of way you put a song together, how would you describe it? What's a typical pattern?
Are you asking, you mean me personally put a song together or the Waggles put a song together?
You personally.
Well, it can go both ways. I always keep a notebook down where you're kind of writing down little phrases or thoughts that you have you thought might think might find a good expression in a song. But a lot of times I'm kind of more of a musician, I feel like, and kind of always loved playing guitar and being in a rock and roll band playing guitar. And to me, it's all about the chord changes. That's the magic to me, and just how they snap together with the drum beat. And so a lot of my stuff, I kind of tend to think in terms of that first, and then. But I don't feel comfortable forcing lyrics to something. If you've got music, it's much better to wait until you got a good lyrical idea, because forced lyrics, just you can tell forced lyrics a mile away to me.
You mentioned a moment ago that we were asked to come up with the Christmas song, and we kind of put that together quickly. And at the same time, we were asked to do a music video, and because we haven't been as prolific with making videos over the years, but I think that one turned out really well. It's got you. Features you as a scooter riding Santa Claus amongst other characters. What do you recall about making the video to Santa's Coming, Ho Ho Ho?
The biggest thing that I remember is that I think we got the word that we had to do this. It was like August or something like that, I think. And, Georgia, probably, 100 degrees outside. And we had to find a place to get a Christmas tree in the middle of August for the prop, and having to pull out all the Christmas decorations and all that stuff. And I also remember how hot it was in that Santa suit on that scooter.
Well, you ride a good scooter as a Santa Claus, I have to say.
Yeah, well, I've taken to doing that a lot, Only I usually ride around like whop people on the head with a stick instead of giving them presents.
I should point out that when people check that out, that is your house that we shot the thing in, and what a cool looking house you've got too, and got kind of this mid-century feel to everything.
Yeah, contrary to the Waggles on the door, it's not really the Waggles house.
Well, so the B-side
it is our secret lab, though. It is our secret lab.
It is our secret lab. So the B-side to the single, we do a version of Clarence Carter's Backdoor Santa. Do you recall the first time you heard that tune, and why did you think it was good for us to do that song?
Gosh, I'm trying to remember where the first time I heard that song was. I can't remember. I remember going to go see Clarence Carter one time, and he didn't show up, though. They said there was like storming up in Tennessee, and he got caught in that Monteagle Pass or something like that and couldn't make it down to, I think it was the Athens Civic Center or something like that. But I can't remember when the first time I heard that song was. I love that guitar riff in that one, though. Is
that the guitar riff the reason that you thought we should try and do that one?
Probably so. Love that.
Yeah. So, Flesh, here we are in the midst of the holidays. I'm sure there are lots of little hammers running around, emergency toolkit-sized little hammers going around. How do you plan on spending these holidays?
Well, we always do our Christmas the weekend after Christmas, and I'm going to be glad to have my kids home from out of town. This is the first year that I've spent with my kids away, so I'm looking forward to having the family around me and a big turkey sitting out, and always have a few guests and in-laws over for dinner as well.
Oh, that sounds great. I'm so happy to hear that I won't be the turkey at that get-together.
And that doesn't change the fact that you are a turkey stunner.
Well, Fleshhammer, thank you so much for talking with me today on our coolest conversations.
Oh, it's the highlight of my day.
Oh, good. So we mentioned that song "Backdoor Santa." Let's go out. We're going to go out with that, the Waggles version of "Backdoor Santa." The B-side, "Santa Is Coming, Ho Ho Ho," here in Little Steven's underground garage.